Bonjour and welcome or welcome back to my channel. My name is Claude and today, Cancer, I'm going to be doing your January ancestors messages. I hope you're doing well. Those are general readings, they will not resonate with everybody. Take what applies directly to your situation and leave the rest behind. If the message doesn't resonate or if you would like a more comprehensive picture, do check your Venus, Moon and Rising signs. So what messages do I have from my Cancer ancestors for January? Ancestor messages. So your first message is number 7, nourishment. This card came out for a reading on one of the fire signs. So if you've got fire in your chart, you may want to check it out. I cannot remember which one it was. I believe it was Sagittarius, but I'm not too sure. So your ancestors are asking you to nourish yourself. Now this does not have to mean necessarily physically. It could be mentally and spiritually too. So if we're talking physical, it's watch what you eat, what cut out on the junk, because it actually has an impact on how you feel and how you think. If it's to do with the mental energy, maybe cut back on social media, because social media can be very poisonous for how we process things, always comparing ourselves to others. Also sometimes we see things that really can irritate us or anger us online, which is not very good for the mental energy, nor is it good for your spiritual energy. It could also be read some books that are gonna further your development, your spiritual development. That's the messages I'm getting. Oh, nice. You've got card 38, Abundance. Now this is a lovely card. Now when we talk about abundance, we have a tendency to immediately go to thinking about lots of money, basically. But there are different types of abundance. You could have abundance in your relationship and feel very, very rich in your relationships. You could, in effect, yes, also have abundance on the physical realm, but you could also feel very rich in the job that you have, the role that you have within an organization, for instance. You could feel that you are rich within your friendships as well. You could feel, just generally speaking, that you've got an abundant life because, you've got everything that you'd want. So that was your second message from your ancestors, talking to you about nourishing yourself so you can get to that state of abundance. So so you feel that prosperity that you deserve. Clarify this message for Pisces. But it's looking like a very nice month for you. Growth. Yep. So you got the Ace of Swords, so you've got a brand new beginning with this nourishment and abundance. And you see, when I was talking to you about nourishment, that doesn't necessarily have to be with just feeding yourself, but also nourishing your mental energy. The Ace of Swords is to do with the mental energy and how you communicate and truth. And to me, the Ace of Swords is the epiphany card. It's that aha moment, that clarity, when you pierce through the darkness because you found out the solution to a problem, for instance. And so the cards are talking about making sure that you nourish yourself on all aspects, so you can get to that breakthrough, to that clarity moment, so you may access the abundance that you are owed. So you may have an idea that pops into your head, and I recommend that you jot it down in a journal immediately. Don't discard anything, no matter how silly it may sound, because it may well be your ancestors communicating with you. Oh, okay, the two cards jump, so I will take these two. Because you got the Hierophant and the Moon. Okay, so you've got two major arcana. And major arcanas are big cards because they have a more permanent effect on our lives. They, you know, they're the type of energies that make us grow on our path. They're not like the minor arcana that deal with the day-to-day kind of activities and situations. So you've got the Hierophant, and he is ruled by number 5, which is the number of change and challenges. Now, the Hierophant represents conventions, so you could be breaking from conventions. It can also represent a relationship, a very committed relationship, like a marriage. It can also represent spiritual enlightenment, you know, someone in your life that comes in like a mentor or counselor, someone who can guide the way for you. And then you've got the Moon, and the Moon is the energy of uncertainty, sometimes illusions, but of things that are buried in the dark, because the moonlight doesn't show everything like the sunlight does. And the Moon also talks about our deepest buried feelings and thoughts deep in our subconscious. It's a very mysterious energy, but you're going to get the clarity right there with the Ace of Swords. But right now, know that if you feel that things are uncertain and you feel that you do not have the clarity that you need, your ancestors are telling you to nourish yourself, to cut off all the junk, whether it's junk food, media, social media, you know, anything that is not for your personal development. They're talking about cutting that off so you can move forward and get the abundance. And you may have someone in your environment who can support you and guide you and counsel you. Now, male or female, this is a general reading, but you have a mentor, you have a teacher around, and you're gonna learn from that person. That's for some of you. For others, it's just talking about your own spiritual development and how you are like leveling up, you know, like you would in a game. Sorry, I know it's a strange analogy, but that's what's coming into my mind. Okay, other messages from my Cancer's ancestors. You've got card 17, the Eye of the Needle, intentionality. Now 17 reduces to an 8, which is the number of advancement, fast advancement. It's asking you, your ancestors are talking to you about having a very clear intention, which obviously coincides with that Ace of Swords. You know, the Ace of Swords, it's victorious because it's you finding the clarity and the direction that you want to go towards. So it's asking you to do everything with intention, and that means being present in the moment, being grounded, really feeling your connection with the earth is what I'm hearing. I know it sounds cliche, but you know, walking in a forest, having any kind of contact with nature really helps to feel grounded. I mean, it does to me. Yoga does to me too. But you can do meditations if it works for you, and there are many on YouTube. But be present in the moment and ground yourself. What works for me also is just to watch my dogs. They are in the moment. They do not think of the past, they don't project in the future. I wish I could do that. They're always in the present, so when I want to recalibrate myself and really feel grounded in the moment, I look at my dogs for just a couple of minutes, and then that's it, I'm grounded and I'm ready, you know, to put out the energy, the wishes out to the universe for what I want. So they're asking you to think about, you know, put some oomph behind your wish, really, because to get to the abundant state you need to know which way you're going and have a plan. If you look at the card of intentionality here, that needle looks very sword-like. Also makes me think of the Lord of the Rings. That's something else altogether. You also have card 21, First Breath, Beginner's Mind. So this reduces to number 3, which is growth, expansion, beginning of abundance. They're giving you the advice to look at things through the eyes of a child. Children are amazing because they look at things as if all of them are wonderful to them, because it's the first time they see them. And so to them everything is fresh and new, and your ancestors are asking you to go back to square one, basically, and being in touch with your inner child. You know, what do you want? What do you need to be abundant in? Do you need to feel abundant in your relationships? Do you need to feel abundant spiritually? Is it something more material? Whatever it is, look at it from a child's perspective, because it will put you in that learner's position where you don't know anything about the subject and you're discovering it all, and it's all fresh and it's all new, and this is how you will grow. Final messages for my Cancer viewers. So you get 33, Translucence, Love the Darkness. Now this card came out for another water sign. I believe it was Pisces. So if you've got Pisces in your chart, you may have a look. It reduces to number 6, which is the number of harmony, of balance coming by after having overcome some kind of a change or a challenge. And it talks about loving the darkness. So that's the card that talks about doing the shadow work. Go within, like the Hermit card would indicate in the tarot. Take the time to go within and light all of the dark corners of yourself. Do not judge it, is the message I'm hearing. Look at it from a detached perspective and work on it. There is no point in being ashamed or feeling guilt about anything, you know, having a negative view on our dark corners. We all have them. We're all made of darkness and light. Your ancestors are urging you to look at those dark corners with compassion and enjoy the time that you spend looking at them, because this is how you're going to grow and reach this abundance that we're talking about. It's also linked to that beginner's mind. If you have any wounds, you know, look at them like a child would. And there's your last card. Number 11, Flash Over. It's all in your head. Well, I'm not surprised that it talks about head energy, because you've got the Ace of Swords, which is mental energy. This card talks about your negative talk, your doubts, it's alerting you that if you're having like mini panic attacks because you are playing scenarios in your head that have not even occurred, your ancestors are telling you to not pay attention to this. This is not important. These are just thoughts. That's why I always say, when it comes to swords energy, thoughts are just what they are, thoughts. They are not who you are. So I always advise to look at them, and if they're negative, push them away lovingly. Accept that they're there, but you don't have to live with them, and they do not define who you are. And I think that's what they're trying to say to you with the, love the darkness. It is that overcoming what's in your head. Go within, look at those thoughts, and see them for what they really are. Children have a very non-judgmental outlook on life, which is why they're recommending that you look at it from a child's point of view. Judgment is something we learn later on when we grow. They look at things with fresh eyes, and they see them for what they are. They don't assign a meaning to them. That comes later with experience. So doing the shadow work with the intention of growing, of finding the clarity for a new beginning, is going to lift the veil from the moon, and you'll be freed from this. It's all in your head, all of those thoughts, all the wound that you have, whatever it is that that's troubling you and that you are trying to fight off at the moment. And once you've done all of this, you will get the abundance. And don't forget to really think about how you nourish yourself on all levels. It's a message that keeps on coming back into my head, so I thought I'd say it again just to close it off. So I hope you've enjoyed your journey through the cards with me. If the message helped you, or if it did resonate, do let me know in the comment box below. I'd love to hear from you. Thank you for stopping by. I really appreciate your time. I wish you a wonderful January month, and I hope to see you again very soon. Until next time, au revoir.